This Good to Go segment is sponsored by Spectrum Health Medical Group.
If you spend any amount of time on social media and in some of the discussion boards and forums, you've probably noticed that a lot of women, and in particular moms, are suffering right now. The pandemic has done a number on them. Dr. Lindsay Volpe Bertram is Section Chief of Psychology at Spectrum Health, and she's here now to talk about what's going on. What is it? Why are moms struggling more right now?
You know, and I love that you said more, because it's not as though they weren't struggling before, but the pandemic has really highlighted a lot of the difficulties that we're seeing right now. So a recent study said, gosh, out of the number of parents that they looked at, they said 68% of women would have needed, requested, desired more emotional support than they received over the course of the pandemic, because there were so many different things influencing mood, and we're still recovering from them. We had kiddos who were home with remote learning, and the studies are showing that an disproportionate number of moms were managing that remote learning, in addition to all of their other household tasks. And so there's a lot of anxiety and worry about kiddos and their development and their academic functioning. Another stat that I saw in the New York Times said that 1 million women left the workforce over the course of the pandemic because of the burdens that they were experiencing, managing the households, helping with their partners if they had them, parenting and childcare things. And there's just been so many aspects of uncertainty when we look at the constantly changing regulations in terms of COVID responses, changes in schedule, changes with the economy and cost-wise.
How's that playing out for women? How's it presenting itself?
There's a burden, right? So we have this cognitive burden, this mental load burden that women, I think, already are experiencing, and we're adding to the plate with that, of just managing everything day to day. Moms might think about their to-do list in the morning, and there could be so many things on it. Like, does kiddo have everything that they need for school? Who has an appointment today? Oh my gosh, I need to pick up milk on the way home. Working moms are balancing everything that comes with their job. So there's this huge cognitive load. But we're seeing a lot of disruptions for women. There's a ton of social isolation. There can be judgment or unhelpful comments from other people. And women are coping in unhealthy ways also. So we'll see things like, again, associated with the pandemic and research results, women have gained weight. They have started to abuse substances more frequently. They are experiencing social isolation and much higher rates of postpartum depression. And a lot of experience loss of support systems in terms of family members who may have died from COVID or are not as accessible and maybe
dealing with their own stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so for a woman who's having one of those days that maybe even stands out from the normally stressful days, give us some coping skills to get through that.
Yeah, so it is about coping, right? That's exactly the word that we want to emphasize, because when we are not taking care of ourselves, we're not doing anybody any justice. Yeah. We're not being the best parent we could be. We're certainly not being the best partner, best person to be around. So one of the strategies that I love in a book I recently read is this concept of doing anything but. So in those moments where you feel like you're going to lose it, do anything but lose it. And maybe that means putting the kids in front of the TV for a few minutes, or giving them a toy or a snack, something to entertain them so that you can walk away and breathe.
Yes.
Or, send a quick SOS message to a friend, and anything but. So that's one thing to focus on. Basic self-care is really important. So things like sleep, eating something, really prioritizing those base needs, because those are going to help drive us considerably throughout our day.
There is help available, and there's help through Spectrum Health. If you want professional help, there's no shame in asking for it. And you can find out more information about mental health on the Spectrum Health website. It's spectrumhealth.org/talkmentalhealth. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.